Welcome back. It's good to be with you again this week. Last week we talked about from the readings in Scripture, we learned that God suffered emotional pain, both in the garden and when he hung on the cross. And I would imagine he suffered emotional pain at other times in his life, particularly when Lazarus died. Lazarus was one of his good friends, and Jesus grieved and wept when Lazarus died. So today I want to reflect on, again, using our two themes of betrayal and abandonment. I want to look at physical pain. Jesus suffered excruciating physical pain through the passion and especially the crucifixion. That process, I can't even imagine what it's like to go through something like that. I would not be able to even watch it. So I was thinking of Jesus' mother watching her son suffer and be crucified and die. So the Blessed Mother certainly understands both emotional and human pain and suffering. But we see here in Jesus' suffering, never once does Jesus turn on his disciples or even the people in the crowd and lash out at them for the abandonment, the feeling of abandonment. He did not lash out at God. He asked God a very serious question: why have you abandoned me? But he did not lash out at God in anger. Nor did he do that with his disciples in the garden. In both situations, we see that in the midst of suffering and pain and confusion, Jesus remained kind and loving and understanding. He did not berate disciples or the people who were at the foot of the cross, the people who were actually crucifying him. He didn't lash out at them. So in the midst of his suffering and his pain, and I'm sure fear, Jesus' true nature never changed. And for what we can take from that is that even in the midst of our own suffering and our own pain that we go through, emotional as well as physical, that we can always go to God, that God does not deny us anything that is good for us. There are times when we get angry, we're tired, we're hungry, and we want to lash out at that time. And we learn from Jesus that remaining true to ourselves and coming from that kind place inside of ourselves is really what we're meant to do in terms of being like Jesus, living and following Jesus' example. So we have an advocate, we have a God who loves us, forgives us, and who never, ever abandons us. And there's nothing we can do that would change God's love for us. Next week, we're going to take what we've looked at these past 4 weeks, and we're going to kind of pull it all together and then focus our sights on Easter. So blessings.